we're catching up, I promise. And so this panel is going to be the tech evolution for Enterprise Next in Landmark. And we have three wonderful people on the stage here today. Starting beside me, we have Miguel Sugiero. All right, I got it right? And Miguel is lots of fun. We've talked about it a ton, and we're really happy that he was able to come out and join us for SOE Live this year. And so he's going to be here to answer all of the hard questions. Oh wait, maybe let's see how I don't. And then of course we have Steve Blue, our technical director. That's a first. It sounded like a move. I was like, what did you do there? There are no moves for Boo. All right, and of course we have Jeff Butler, our creative director for Enterprise Next. Tell them all about that.
Thanks, Jerry. So this panel is all about kind of a high-level overview of how does the technology connect work, how do we see it going in the future. You know, we can give you some insight into some things that are coming, show you some things that we had in the past, what have we changed. So just as sort of a way back machine, we're going to take a look at some screenshots. You've seen a few of other presentations today, but I find them particularly interesting just as a perspective of the original engine that they started with the prototype, way back in 2012. So here you see something that looks nothing like the current game. It's kind of the first iteration, including the gloved hand of the soldier from Planetside 2. We got the engine from Planetside 2 originally.
That looks like the Mike claimed in Landmark.
Yeah, I've seen your plan. But the original prototype had some refinements applied to it. Eventually, we got a lot of different kinds of shaped blocks, and as you can see, we started building a reimagining of what the Freeport would look like in our new game. And as time went on, that got better and better. And as you can see here, by the end of our prototype, or it wasn't the end, but fairly significantly into our first prototype, we had some nice looking images from Freeport. But we started coming to the realization that that particular approach had too many limitations. We had a fixed library of shapes that was very confusing. There was, how many of them were there? 50 or 60 shapes. We had to pick from out of the menu, which was kind of cumbersome. And we didn't have any level of detail technology, so we'd only show you this for the first few 100 meters or so, and then it would just cut off. So we're looking for something else. Enter Miguel and his company, Foxpark. Tell them a little story about kind of how we met up with Miguel.
So we were very fortunate. One of our designers on the team happened to run across Miguel's blog. And as we began to study what he had been posting about on his blog, where he was talking about his technology, his evolution, we had an excellent opportunity, one that happens fairly rarely in development environments when you're looking at other people's technology. And that is because Miguel had been a prolific blogger. He had talked about his technology throughout its iteration. He had interacted with his blog community. I was able to go in prior to every meeting or talking to Miguel and look at not only everything that he had talked about from a technological standpoint, posted on, but also all of his community interactions. I literally went back to the very first day that he began blogging about Voxel Farm Tech, and I read every single post and every single response to every single post that he ever had done throughout the entire iteration. So before
Jeff started harassing me about this point to go read the blog.
before I met Miguel, I felt like I knew what he wanted to accomplish. I felt like he was a member of our team because in many ways, his thinking and what he was trying to accomplish was directly in line with our interests. So even before we met Voxel Farm and we started talking to Miguel, I felt like it would be an excellent marriage. Our vision for how we wanted to create the game and portions of Miguel's technology to help us reach that goal. And so, as you've seen in the keynote and in the previous presentation, we're well on our way.
We've had an excellent working relationship since then. a lot of the technology that is developed and Miguel is developed for his own purposes and for his company, but a lot of it is also built for us. And we kind of have this great sort of synergy where we have pieces that he's building for us, and then we also see things, wow, that piece you just made on your own, we really like to use that. We think it fits really well with our game. There's a couple things that he's built that we haven't felt would fit well with the game, we haven't used them. But yeah, it's been a great working relationship. So, Miguel, you have anything to say about that love letter?
Fanboy.
This is work. So yeah, when I first heard about these guys, I thought they were crazy, because I was just going, I actually, just a couple of friends helping me out, and you guys like really big, And coming from an MMO, it's probably the most difficult kind of game you could build. So I thought, well, I'm in big trouble, because these guys want to use this technology, and they want to play probably the most difficult thing you can ever do in the game. So I say, well, should I say yes to everything, And they should take all the credit, because they were really, they took a huge gamble on us.
All right, thanks, Miguel. So, what were the things about Boxing Farms that made us choose it at the time? We discovered many advantages since then, but the main issues were it allowed us to represent a lot more shapes. Since it was much more freeform, the way the voxels were represented, as opposed to the fixed shapes that we had in our old engine, it was much more flexible. Had a much longer draw distance. As I said, in our old engine, we can only display out for a few, under 100 voxels or so. Whereas now we've got these distant mountainscapes, and as you can see, great, as you all know, you're players, so beautiful distance capabilities. And then lastly, you had a whole procedural generation system in place so that you could save on data costs. In our original engine, every single little hill in the valley, you have to save that on disk or transmit it across the network to you guys. Now that doesn't have to happen. It's all generated procedurally on each line, except for the stuff that you change. There's plenty of data there, but we didn't want to have that load. So how does all this stuff work? Well, the box system in Boxing Farm uses something called dual isocontouring. We're going to go kind of 20,000-foot view about how dual isocontouring works, at least in practical sense, how you guys are using it. So basically, this has been described before in other documents that like Dave George published, and in many of the videos. These concepts aren't new, but I just wanted to go over it because it's important how the whole system works. Basically, every voxel has a material, which is a texture, color, and has an internal point that represents where inside of that voxel the mesh that gets generated, which is what you actually see in video cards can display. It's called mesh, made of triangles. It's the point in that voxel that the mesh goes through. So what happens is if we're going to build that mesh, it looks at all of the neighboring voxels and tries to find places where there is a junction between air and non-air. And at that point, it creates a triangle, or actually a quad, in this case, two triangles, out of the points on all those neighboring voxels that are on that border. It's actually pretty simple. It's just a lot of work. So the processor has to work really hard to do this. That leads to all kinds of interesting things, like microvoxels, something that players discovered. And I'm going to say I'm going to I'm getting put forward. Microvoxels are actually really simple. Every voxel can have only a single internal point in it, but what a microvoxel is when the points are very close to